Hey everybody, I'm Dionne Jackson Miller. Now DuttyBerry has a show. He's doing top content creators of 2025, and guess what? I'm on it!
All right, so hey Dionne, so you're on Dutty's top content creators of 2025.
Let me just point out that every now and then I wake up and I hear, hey, DuttyBerry, have you in the countdown? And I go, what? So, okay, this is just a little bit of an advance from that.
Yeah, so now talk to me now. I'm sure many people are wondering, like, how are you moving from seasoned journalist now and you've somehow added on a different layer to the brand as a content creator? You're on YouTube creating content. What's been the response?
I'm Dionne Jackson Miller. Thanks so much for joining me. Time for tea. The people who are around me say, you know, it's about time. A lot of members of the public and viewers, that has been their response. What took you so long? You know, long time you have to do this. And someone had sent me a tweet they did in, I don't know, like maybe 4 or 5 or so years ago. I actually just found it while I was waiting for you, where he was saying he hopes that Dionne, you know, breaks out from the traditional stuff she's doing and starts to do other stuff. And he sent it back to me when I launched my channel. So I think for a lot of people it was, and certainly for me, it was always, this is the next logical step. I'm all about growth, I'm all about development. I started in radio, then after X number of years, I got a chance to do TV, I jumped at it. So it really, for me, is just moving into the next logical space.
Yeah, no, there are a lot of people who, you know, have plans to branch into, you know, the digital media space, but not very few are really successful at it. What do you think you brought to the table that made your YouTube content really stick and struck a nerve with the audience?
The first thing I would say is I didn't have to build a brand, because I've been working in journalism for, you know, a couple of years well. So I was already well known, you know, I already have, I would say, one of the foremost voices in traditional media. So when I started to make the shift, for a lot of people, it was just, okay, seeing me in a different space, and then as well, I guess, introducing myself to a new audience as well. But I already, I think, had the journalistic chops to do what it is I'm doing now. And commentary for me is, again, it's about growth, it's about development, it's a next step on. I used to do like little bouts of commentary every now and then on my radio program, and Vashan Brown, one of my friends, pick up yourself, Vashan, would always say he wants more, do more of that. So it seemed logical to do that as the extension of what I was already doing for my YouTube channel.
No, talk to me about your process. Like, how do you go about selecting the topics that you address, and are there you know, certain stories that you are very reluctant to cover?
Well, it's a news commentary channel, so a lot of it is driven by news. So for instance, I mean, I'll make a list of, say, okay, I want to do this as my next 5 videos, and then I'll wake up and I hear an Auditor General report drop, or a court ruling drop, or something happen, or some big press conference, and I'm like, I have to jump on that. So a lot of it is driven by news of the day. So like, even as we're talking now, there are about 2 court cases I want to do videos on. I think 1 or 2 reports coming out of Parliament. The PAAC met while I was on vacation. Last sitting of Parliament was festive as well. So I'm about 5 in reserve that I need to catch up on. So that has never been an issue for me. Plus, really and truly, I always have a whole heap of ideas. I'm always full of ideas. So I have this long list of stuff I want to do. So that's not an issue.
No, do you get help with the channel in terms of, you know, thumbnail, descriptions, all of that? I'm assuming that it could be a whole new world for you. Talk to me about just adjusting to that landscape online.
All right, so when I just started, again, one of my friends, good friends, Archibald Gordon, pick up yourself, Archie. You must always have good friends around you, because Archie was like, look, you've been talking about this for a while. The Vibes Cartel Court of Appeal case was coming up, and he's like, look, DJ, just start. You can figure it out as you go along, you know. So I started with a chroma key background and recording on Zoom, right? And I did that for a couple of videos, and then the Zoom wasn't working, and I started to record with my phone, which was obviously a huge step up. And one of my friends them called me and said, chroma key now work. Find somewhere in your house and do a background. So I did the one you have now, which is a bookcase, you know, which no people is not fake books. My house full of books. All of them full of book, so the book they're not fake, all right? And then Ricardo Making and all of my colleagues who has a YouTube channel, you know, call me and say, boy, best thing you ever do. However, there's this thing called thumbnails. So I started to do my thumbnails by myself. Ricardo called me back. Which for me, I enjoy this so much. It's part of the process, you know. So then I started to work with Khalil Huey, who has classical media. He's does digital design. So he's the one doing most of my thumbnails now. But because of how I work, I'll just get up in the morning and one idea busting in my head and I want to get it out immediately and I'll just do a thumbnail myself. So I would say this, look at my channel. The ones that look really nice and professional is Khalil. Any others is me. Then no, I tell you, I started editing myself and I hated it. And again, one of the guys in my office was saying, boy, you know, work for free, you know, but he did almost call me and said, Dionne, we come work for free because you need help. And then I spoke to my son and said, hey, Justin, you know, big up yourself, Justin. You're interested in working with me? He wasn't an editor. You want to teach yourself editing? And he said, all right, he sounds interested. And he taught himself video editing. He's now actually doing a course in it. And you can just see the evolution in my videos. And I'm so happy and I'm so thrilled because that also is part of what has made it such a fun journey for me in terms of partnering, having him, my son, as one of my team members. Love that.
No, so I guess you have a newfound respect for content creators.
I absolutely do. No, part of it, to be fair, is that I did come with a certain set of skills because I've been in TV. So I know how I want the thing to look. It's just that when you're a content creator and you do everything yourself, that's a whole other level. So for instance, one day Wayne Marshall called me, big up yourself, Wayne and Tammy. Wayne called me and I could hear the kind of tentative note in his voice. And he was saying, I love your videos, but you look like say you get a couple of them calls yourself, DuttyBerry. No, or you made some of those calls. Yeah, so what he wanted to say to me was that he said he loved my videos, but he thought my titles and captions weren't provocative enough, you know? And I was like, so again, so appreciative because I appreciate learning from you guys. You know, I bring a lot of knowledge to the table, but I'm absolutely the first to admit that I need to learn a lot, and I'm always open. So at the end of the convo, for instance, I said to Wayne, thank you so much, I really appreciate it. He said, boy, I'm kind of afraid to call, because some people you call them and they up in their feelings and if you say you can't tell them no, that is not me. So anyhow know, when you want to call, anything you want to tell me, DuttyBerry, we can sit down after, please. Give me a tutorial, tell me what you think is wrong with the YouTube channel. I'm completely open and accepting of that. So I have zero regrets for asking this question. I'm in a business what people say or what they want to think. I am very happy that I asked.
Traditional journalists usually don't like to be a part of the story. They just want to present the story and keep themselves out of it. But you know, you being on YouTube and your conversations have somehow struck a nerve with audiences. How have you managed that and, you know, dealing with that as a content creator?
So again, I look at it as a new phase in what I'm doing, right? When you're just doing straight question and answer, even though I'm known as a pretty hard interviewer, that's one thing. But what I'm doing now is giving opinion and giving commentary and saying the things they want to do foolishness, you know, especially with the two major political parties. And that comes, as you said, with its own set of baggage. And that is something I had to think through. Because what the question you have to ask yourself is, do I want to do this badly enough to allow these people to stop me? And absolutely, I'm not going to make them stop me. And the reality is that they're helping to drive the conversation, they're helping to drive the engagement, you know. And then what people see is the trolls. And they say, boy, how you do that? What they don't see is all the people who stop me while I'm walking and say, security guard, a sovereign, who stopped me and said, boy, I love your channel. You know, the guy who, while I'm out walking in the morning, said, boy, I subscribe long time, you know. And then there are people as well in the comments. And again, it's sometimes hard to see that because the trolls take over. One guy, I was looking for one of my absolute favorite comments who said, Dionne, you may not even see this because of all the trolls, but we love your takes, we love the videos, please don't stop. So I get so much of that. So that is validation part one. And then number two is the fact that you have never had somebody doing something significant and not have the haters running. I was just looking at a social media post from Simone Biles, who said, you know, it's okay if I get up off of my neck sometime. There is nobody who they don't come after. So you just have to decide what it is you want to do. And like, what's your name? Haters gonna hate. I'm gonna keep on moving. Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift. Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Because the haters gonna hate.
Yeah.
Shake it off. Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah. So for me, that Taylor Swift, yeah, that's a big theme song I think you have to take when you want to do big things. So haters gonna hate, you just have to keep on moving. Just do your thing. I'm just doing my thing, and people like it. 45,000 subs so far, not too bad.
Yeah. What is your most viral or successful video to date?
There are two of them. One of them, I think one of the one was a Chinese auto shop, which was bizarre to me because I was like, what? So I've been watching the story about this Chinese-owned auto repair shop set up in Ferry in St. Catherine and how a whole heap of people are going there.
So I noticed that he needed help and I just took up a bullhorn out of the blue. Just took up the bullhorn and started calling numbers. And
there are three that come to mind that I'll say quickly. One is a Chinese auto shop. That was about the Chinese auto shop that set up at Ferry. I'd done a quick interview with one of my colleagues, Ron Powell, who went there. And that one just took off. And I was like, huh? The other one is a law one that I'd done, funny enough, on police doing stop and search. And what the law says. And I'd taken them through one of the landmark cases on it, in which the judge went through a particular story of a man who was stopped and searched unlawfully and why he said it was unconstitutional. And I think one of the other ones was the one I did on Immaculate. Immaculate kicked out this kid from sixth form because she got something like 2 1s in Cape and a 4, which is a pass, and then kick her out so she never meet the standard. And I was incensed. Yeah, that one was an early one and that one took off as well. So it's always interesting to me what people like. There's some that I thought would have done really, really well and then kind of push.
Yeah, because a lot of times it's all about timings, other things, just so many things that...
And the reality is that I'm doing a lot of stuff, so sometimes I can't jump on stuff as quickly as I want, and sometimes maybe I miss the wave, but cycle.
Yeah, no, online, especially on YouTube, I always say it was, a space where there are a lot of persons who give opinions, but they aren't necessarily considered like sources of authority. And so, was that also a part of your decision making into going into content creation, going onto YouTube?
No, I don't look at what other people do. Because even if there were 10 or whatever people doing out there, I still think I'm bringing my own style and my own personality that's valuable in this space. So no, that wasn't a thing.
All right, so no, final question. RJR pay or AdSense pay? RJR pay or AdSense? Google, YouTube, AdSense pay. Which one I do it for you right now? Which one is the one you're like, woo?
yes.
Huh? Traditional media pay right now, or is it the online digital pay right now that gets you excited?
I mean both. I mean what I do most of the time, because remember it's how much you give, where do you put your time? And right now most of my time is still with the RJR Cleaner Communications Group. Pick up yourself, RJR Cleaner, make sure you watch my radios.
Listen.
Listen, be on the headlines and watch all angles. So, I mean, I would say that's still the bulk of my revenue. AdSense now is climbing, and I'm like, whoo, starting to see the real potential there and really enjoying what's happening over there as well.
So could see Dionne next month pop up with a brand new JLE.
Okay, he's using words that I don't know what I mean. What's a jelly?
Just consider that nowadays Audi, where everybody hype a car where...
Oh!
Yeah. So
Really? That's a car?
Yeah, it's a car, yeah.
Okay. It's a fancy car? Okay. Probably not. Yeah, I'm not the ostentatious show-off kind of person. Like the video, share with somebody you think might be interested, and subscribe to the channel if you have not yet done so, and of course click that notification bell so you know every time I drop a new video. One of the things that I'm very opinionated about, or feel very strongly about, right, is that a lot of older people feel like, okay, this is not a space for me. Let me come out of a space, or this is for the younger people them. And I have never felt like that, because they're no more than me, More to the point, I work with young people, you know, I celebrate them, I collaborate with them, I interview them. I have an annual TV program, you know, Young Achievers, where I celebrate young people. So I don't feel that the emergence of young stars means my diminution. I don't think that the rising of young people means that I am somehow diminished. I don't think that because they're bursting onto the scene, I need to fade away. You know, the sky's big, space for a whole heap of different stars to shine. And I think we get the most out of media, out of our culture, when we have different voices and different perspectives. Somebody who is doing news or commentary at 20 or 25 is bringing a valuable perspective, but they can't bring my perspective. You know, I've been in the business for several decades, and once I think I still have value, and I think I still have a whole heap of value and a whole heap of things to do, maybe it's time to move on from one space into another space. That time will come, but I absolutely do not think that just because you're getting older, you need to shrink away, you know, and not take advantage of these wonderful opportunities out there. And if I'd thought like that, I wouldn't have launched this channel. And, you know, Ricardo Makin, as I had mentioned, is one of the people who said, no, man, you know, this is something you really need to do. All the friends I have around me who said this is something you need to do. And I just think that is really, really important to think about, that my being in a space and making space for you doesn't push me off the stage, and neither does it mean I am trying to prevent you from rising as well.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that.
I would give the same advice Archie gave me: just start. You'll figure it out as you go along. People will give you advice, you know, people will call you up and give you advice. But I think the important thing is just to start. I mean, I love, for instance, the fact that my friends who worked at Sportsmax, you see them opening up their channels. You know, Leighton Levy has his going, Mr. Analyst, Ricardo Chambers, who is, you know, absolutely awesome. He has Sports Chambers going. So I think more and more people are seeing that there are avenues for them to open up. And I think you can think in terms of the fact that I think one of the things that stops people is that they think they need 100 people. Because, you know, there are so many people who work on my show in TV, and then if you're in the States, it's like 50 times that. And really and truly, you can just start. You know, figure it out. You can build your team slowly, but you can also do a lot of the work yourself.